Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I am host Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
Well, today we aren't just talking about an anime, we're talking about all the animes. Yes, that's right. This is technically the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe with special number 2. And for this one,
Special number 2.
Joe and I have reached 10 animes. Yes, I know it's anime is the plural, but animes makes me sound like a cultured American fuck. God. So, we're talking about our top 10 anime, and we made a list of our top 10 and looking back on all the stuff. It was kind of fun. As I was looking through it, I'm like, there's no way we actually did 10. Joe messed this up. But no, we did 10. Some of which where I'm like, oh my god, I forgot we talked about this. So in front of me,
Probably burned the witch.
not even that. Like, I just,
Oh.
I, I forgot that we fucking, looked at Samurai Champloo. I was like, oh yeah, we did talk about that. But anyway, in front of me, I have a list of 10 animes. Joe has a list of 10 animes, and
It really bothers me that you put the S on the end of anime when talking about it in plural. It bothers me so much.
dude, I remember I used to hate when people did it, and I was like, get it right, man. I'm like, it's fucking rude, and it's kind of funny actually.
So long as you know what's wrong. All right, so I don't want to hold this off any further, Joe. I want to just get right into it. So you want me here? I'll say mine first, and you say yours second, and then we'll deliberate after that. That's how this will work. And spoilers for all of the shows. The thumbnail contains an image from every single show.
Really?
So, yes, Joe. Joe hasn't seen the thumbnail for this. It's one of my favorite thumbnails that I've made thus far. So, spoilers for all of these shows. You've been warned. All right. My number 10, Joe. It's Yasuke.
Yeah, thought so. That was me too. It's I feel so I kind of feel bad for it looking back on it. I really wish it was good. You know what I mean? Like it had potential, but it fucking sucks.
Yeah. The thing is, yeah, I want everything that I watch to be good, you know? Because I don't like wasting my time and like watching shit media. So Yasuke, it looked interesting. Interesting premise. Okay art style. Again, it reminded me kind of
Cool
like Legend of
soundtrack.
Korra. Cool sound, not really my kind of
My type of
soundtrack, but like
soundtrack.
yeah, and it is unique of a sound. It's like a unique soundtrack. But unfortunately, the praise ends there because the execution of all of that crap is just dog ass.
Now the question is, Joe, will we watch a worse anime than Yasuke?
That is the question. I don't know. I don't know if I'll willingly ever choose something that I know is worse than Yasuke, but we might end up choosing something that's just like weird and experimental, and we'll come out of it being like, "Oh, fuck this shit." But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Yasuke to me is just—it's such a poorly executed version of all of its concepts that I'm just like, I can't fucking stand thinking about that. I will never rewatch this because it's not even like funny bad. It's just bad, and it again only 6 episodes. It took me longer to get through these 6 episodes than it has for me to get through all of Evangelion that I've been watching over the last 3 days. That is sad, Joe.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough about Yasuke. Poor Yasuke.
Poor Yasuke.
Number
Or
9.
fuck Yasuke.
Number 9.
Wait. Just the other one redeeming quality of Yasuke.
Mhm.
Look at his hand. Whew. All right, now we can move on to number 9.
All right. Number 9. This is where things get
Spicy.
yeah. We're gonna keep this civil, Joe. Okay.
Okay.
Keeping it civil. So I have
Yeah.
Violet Evergarden as number 9. And look, the way I went about this is just to get okay. Actually, no. You say you're number 9, then we're gonna jump right back
Okay.
to me. You say you're number 9.
My number 9 is Samurai Champloo.
Yes, that makes sense. And I gotta say, the way I think about stuff is, and the way I made this list, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start with what I think is my number 1, and then I'm gonna look at all the other ones, and I'm gonna say, would I rather watch this or this? And then it's like, as I go through that, that's kind of how I make my list. And spoiler, Samurai Champloo is my number 8. So I looked at it and I'm like, would I rather sit down and watch Samurai Champloo or Violet Evergarden? And when I thought about it, I wanted to watch Samurai Champloo. And again, I Violet Evergarden. If you listen to the podcast, it's probably the biggest, not argument, but like disagreement Joe and I have ever had on a piece of media, and
Mm.
it's
Disparity of opinions is what I would use.
it's so strange because you look at the ingredients of all this, and this is a Joe anime, but something didn't click with me, and I don't think it's bad. It's just something that I have no desire to ever watch again. So it's out there. It's done. You go, Joe.
Yeah, so Samurai Champloo, similar because like after Yasuke, I don't really think any of these anime are bad. Now we're just into the anime that I'm like fine, but whatever, or fine,
Hmm.
but I don't really connect with it. And Samurai Champloo is like the epitome of that sentence for me because it's like I recognize Samurai Champloo as like it's a pretty cool anime and it follows characters that people seem to really love and it's got like all the hip hop that people really like and the style that everyone really likes. Personally, I really don't like the style of Samurai Champloo. Like just like the art direction of that show, I find to be very strange. The music, while I don't really hate it, I just don't connect with it all that much. I've never been that big into hip hop, and so an entire thing that's backed with hip hop, I appreciate it. It makes the show that much more unique and that much more like its own identity. But it's just not one that I really connect with personally all that well.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that and the fact that it's like the more episodic nature stuff, I'm generally not that big of a fan of. I prefer the more overarching story. And while this one did technically have one of those,
It takes you
it was
20
very much like,
episodes to actually get to like a climax
yeah, and even then, it's not really that great of a
payoff.
story. So I'm
Yeah.
just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
No, I get it.
So,
That's why number 8
yeah.
is Shamrock Champloo for me.
Yeah, there you go. And there you have it.
What's your number 8?
My number 8 is Angel Beats.
Ooh, okay. This list is very different. This is oh
Yeah.
boy. Okay, interesting. I based off if I were to make the list from your point of view, that actually makes sense. Um,
Hmm.
okay, okay, down at 8. All right, can you? I mean, Samurai Champloo for me. Um, when we watched it, it was my second time through, and on second time through with clearer eyes, I realized that like it's good, but like wow, it's a slow one, and even
Mm.
it's like a slow burner where you're like, oh my god, the firecracker, it takes forever to explode, but when it does explode, it's gonna be so nice. This explodes and it's kind of like, that's kind of cool. Um, yeah, Samurai Champloo. I would rather rewatch that over Violet Evergarden. That's why it goes up here. But then everything else after this, I'm like, I would pick that any day over Samurai Champloo. I can honestly see if I never watch this show ever again.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Angel Beats for me was very much like it helps greatly. Like the reason I think it's above Samurai Champloo is because it's shorter and it's got like that overarching narrative that I really enjoy, sort of like structure. But other than that, there's not a whole lot that I actually really enjoy about this show. I don't remember a single goddamn character's name from this thing, like at all. I remember Mugen, and I remember, yeah, that's all the characters that I remember from Samurai Champloo. What's the girl's name? Faye?
Fu
Was it
and
Faye?
Jean.
Fu. Gene, that's right. Okay. So I remember those three guys. Angel Beats, I got no fucking clue what any of their names are. I remember that there was a Halo bit that I did because the purple haired girl had a sniper rifle in the beginning, and I was like, that looks like the sniper rifle out of Halo. But other than that, I don't fucking know. I enjoyed the cleverness, like with the writing, as for the narrative and why the title of the show was Angel Beats. That was cool. And the last episode heel turn for going from like just like the standard action of the purgatory high schoolers shooting each other or whatever, then being like, oh, now it's like Anohana levels of emotion and everything's really intense and dramatic. I was just like, what the fuck? It's one of the funniest heel turns to me out of all of these shows that we've gotten so far. And so while again things aren't bad in this show, I just think that there was a lot of potential that they kind of wasted. And I don't know, just most of it I find to be rather forgettable and just kind of like meh. But even if it is forgettable and meh, it's still more enjoyable and shorter than Samurai Champloo. So that's kind of like why I put it above it there.
Tell me what your number 7 is.
My number 7 is Burn the Witch.
Wow. This is a list. My number 7 is Kill la Kill.
Wow, you had it that fucking low. Oh my god.
Again, I think of it as the anime that are left that we haven't said yet. I think I would rather watch all of them before I would watch Kill la Kill. Like if I was put had a gun to my head, they're like, "All right, Joe, you have to pick one of these anime or Kill la Kill." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll probably pick these other ones." Like I like Kill la Kill. I really enjoyed it and I thought it was fun, but like I don't know. Yeah, I just that's my reasoning. All this I like all these other ones more than it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just we watched a lot of good shit so far.
I guess that is a pretty good point. It is. It is. I concede a little bit there. I'll concede a little bit there, but still, I'm just like interesting. But yeah, so I had Burn the Witch here, and Burn the Witch. This is going to come into play with a couple of the anime that are left on this list because if people have yet to notice, some of these are shows that are one season long, pending continuing seasons. Some of these are complete stories, such as Kill la Kill and Angel Beats and Samurai Champloo. Me personally, I tend to really enjoy succinct stories that are done very well and that are pretty easy to consume. Um, Hence, again, why Angel Beats is higher than Samurai Champloo in that case. That's one of the points that I had above it. Burn the Witch, while being incredibly short and not being low on quality at all, like the animation quality, the art style, Tight Kubo's designs, again, fucking immaculate. They're great. But it's really just kind of like a taster almost. It's just like a sampler, just being like, hey, here's this cool, interesting world, this other side of the Soul Society that you fucks really love, because Joe and I are both bleach sluts. Put that into your fucking porn search terms. Actually, don't do that. I don't want to be responsible for what you find. But Burn the Witch to me was just kind of like, it's cool and I'm interested, but you didn't really do enough with it for me to be all that invested into it. So while I do enjoy it, I'm like, I want more. And this, again, these things, top 10 lists change all the fucking time because people grow and change opinions. So it could be the fact that Burn the Witch, these first 4 episodes that comprise whatever part 1, season 1, or if it's just that, it could get better with continuing on from that. But as of right now, with just those 4 episodes, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's good. But that's pretty much it. So that's why it sits at my number 7 spot.
Bleach sluts. I need some new material.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, that was number 6, right? Yeah. No,
That was number 7.
7. All right, number 6. Number 6, I have Angel Beats.
Okay. My number 6, I'm interested to see how you react to this. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, we have a list on our hands.
We have
We
a list, baby!
really have a list.
All right, why did you do Angel Beats at 6?
Angel Beats for me is, again, this is only my second time ever watching it, and I was so excited to revisit it. After revisiting it, I realized that it has a lot of flaws, but it has so much nostalgia to me. I find it funny, I find it cute, but obviously I recognize some of the flaws that we talked about in the full podcast. But yeah, it's one of those where Angel Beats is right in the middle for me with some of the shows that we've watched recently. Like I enjoyed it, it's fun, it's a good show, but then when I look at some of this other stuff, I'm like, oh man, I would pick any of these any day over Angel Beats.
Yeah, me with Jujutsu Kaisen, it's similar to Burn the Witch, where it is. We've only gotten season 1 so far, and while season 1 was hype as fuck, I don't feel a lot of payoff from it yet, or like real emotional connection. Like the most that I felt invested in the show was the fight between like the last, I guess the entire last like third of the show, where you had oh crap, what's the main character's name? What's
Yuji.
pink haired? Yuji. Yeah, we had Yuji and Muscle Boy
Toto.
fighting. Yeah, Toto. Thank you. I don't have the list in front of me, so I don't remember any of the names. But you had those two fighting the like the Earth demon person and landing the black flashes. That shit was hype as fuck. And then when Yuji and Girl Dame, what was the girl's name?
Nobara.
Nobara, thank you. When you had those two fighting the other like Curse brothers, that shit was also hype as fuck. But it's not quite. It doesn't quite reach hype or emotional levels that the next five shows have for me. So it's like this show again has a lot of potential, and it hasn't wasted the potential yet. It's just like it's in its early stages, much like Burn the Witch, and I'm waiting for it to really take me to those new heights. But as of right now, it's like it's good. I really appreciate it. I really love some of the bits in this. I just can't put it above anything else as of right now because it hasn't earned it yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, Joe, I get it. I get it. We have a list. I don't know.
We have a list.
Um, what's your number five, my man? Oh God.
My number five spot is Violet Evergarden.
Okay, my number five is Burn the Witch.
Okay, okay. Explain Burn the Witch real quick.
So, I'm a Bleach slut, as clarified earlier, and look, I Burn the Witch. I loved it the first time I watched it, and then even on the second time I watched it, I'm like, this is so fucking cool. I love anything Bleach, and the fact that this exists, even just for the fact that there's a fucking the little Soul Society sign at the end. I'm like, love this thing, and the fact that it's also just a movie. I'm like, just that fact. I'm like, okay, I really enjoyed watching this. I don't really have any gripes besides I want more, and obviously I believe we're getting more because there's a lot of stuff happening with Bleach, and boy oh boy, diehard fans of the Cup of Joe podcast, fall is about to be fucking insane, and I mean insane, insane, insane.
Mm-hmm.
Going into winter, but Burn the Witch falls right in the middle for me, where I'm like, oh, this is like the perfect middle ground of like I really enjoy this. I recognize that like, hey, it's kind of like the new kid on the block, and it doesn't really have a full reputation yet, but yeah, I think it just sits right in the middle for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can totally see that. And again, like mine was only a couple spots back, but I guess I'm just a little bit less of a Bleach slut than you are at this stage of my life. But that might have been because I tried to rewatch a bunch of it, and I was like, ah. But yeah, so for me, Violet Evergarden, again, only 13 episodes, not counting the OVA and the two movies. This is just the 13 episodes into the season. It's fucking beautiful. Like I would hazard to say it is the most beautifully animated show on this entire list, bar at least consistently. There are some moments in some of these shows coming up that I think look incredible, but I think technically it's still the most impressively animated show. The story, while yes, it takes a little while to get into, and it hinges on the fact that you need to actually, build the caring relationship with Violet in the beginning that will then carry throughout the rest of the show. So if you're not on board with that, you're not going to like any of it. But if you are on board with that, like I was, ooh, God, it really gets you. Because just seeing this robot learn empathy and just become a person more in touch with their emotions, and then also seeing all these different vignettes of emotional stories from all the different corners of this world. I just think it does that sort of crap so immaculately that it's just, even like episode 10 alone would probably earn my number 5 spot on this list just by virtue of that. And then with all the rest of the stuff put on top, for me it's no contest. It sits solidly at the top of my number 5 of the anime that we've gone through so far on the channel.
That's your opinion, and you are allowed to have it.
Thank you very much.
Your turn, my turn. I'm getting lost.
I'll start us off.
Okay.
I'll start us off with number 4 real quick. My number 4 spot is Kill la Kill.
Wow, this is the ones we might not have anything in common beside Yasuke, which would be fucking hilarious. My number
That is
4
funny.
is Anohana.
Interesting. Okay. I'll explain Kill la Kill real quick. Again, story, one season, distinct, one and done. Contrary to popular belief, it's not just because horny, although it does help a little bit. But also, I just really love, again, I love the story and watching a character change and realize things over the course of that story. Hence Violet Evergarden's placement, and then hence this story's placement, because I fucking love watching Ryuko go from this like badass bitch who while is very capable, can't really do too much on her own in the beginning because she is so alone. But then through the story, learning to trust others and put her faith in others and having that be rewarded because then other people put their trust in her and rely on her for other things. And it's just like this wonderful symbiotic relationship and learning to be your own true self and that people will then accept you for that. It's a story that I find to be great and wonderful. And it's so, I don't know if I want to say empowering, but it just makes me feel real good, you know? It makes my brain feel real nice.
No, I get it. Kill la Kill, it's sick. Kill la Kill is a good show. So Anohana for me, it's the feels, man. It's the nostalgia. This thing is such a cute little package in a nice 11 episodes, and it just has such a nice place in my heart where I'm like, this thing's got to go top five. It 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 can't compete with the next three, but it sits up there as something where I will always recommend it, and I will always rewatch it and be happy.
Alrighty. So, now we're down to the big boys, if you will. The
Oh.
Titans, if you will. Foreshadowing? Probably.
Winky wink,
Um,
the dink dink.
Ooh, I didn't like that at all. So, starting it off for the top three, baby. For me, my number three spot is in fact Anohana.
Oh my god. God, can we please have something similar, you fuck? My number three is Gurren Lagann.
What? What?
Look, man, these top three are literally some of the best anime I've seen ever. Some of my favorites ever. And it's very hard for me to put them in a top three. Actually, it wasn't that hard. I listened to my heart, and put and was able
Part
to
of the cards.
yeah, was able to figure it out. But yeah, so let me talk about Gurren Lagann. Started Gurren Lagann knowing nothing, and first couple episodes being like, what the fuck? Finished it at 2 o'clock in the morning, like doing 8 episodes in a row, thinking, this is art, and I am so happy I was able to watch this. So I just want to give a big shout out to other Joe here for recommending this because I don't know if I would have ever watched it. So
That's me.
Gurren Lagann, number three, baby. This great show. Watch it right now.
It is a great
You're in
show,
med school.
and it
Watch it.
deserves
Just
better.
don't feed your child. Watch this show.
Exactly. So then real quick for me, Anohana, again, I'm eternally grateful to other Joe for introducing this to me because while it is, at times, rather dramatic and rather overly done so, I think the story in this is just fucking incredible. And I somehow connected with it on so many strange levels I wasn't expecting. I think top of which seeing two of the main characters come together in one of their bedrooms, just like playing Pokemon analog on Game Boys and stuff. I was like, oh fuck, I feel the nostalgia of this. And the characters felt the nostalgia of it because they didn't really do it anymore. And I was just like, oh fuck, too many levels of nostalgia. So the connections that I had with this show, top notch, very relatable for me. And the story I just found to be that right level of ooey gooiness and dramaticness, and I was just like, fuck, I can't believe that other Joe got me with this. He sniped my fucking heart with this show. It's really good. I like it a lot. All right. Number two, Joe. You go first with this one.
Okay, this is where stuff really happens. For number two, I have Attack on Titan.
Interesting. I was trying to guess where your top three were, and I completely got them all wrong. My number two is also Attack on Titan, Joe. We did it!
Thank God! Thank fucking God!
We finally matched up two shows that wasn't Yasuke.
Oh man! All right, so I kind of at first I was like, is it number two? And then in my mind, I'm like, actually, I think it is number two. So Attack on Titan is something that I've been following since its birth, and Joe has hopped along for the ride in the past couple years, and we've been on this
I hopped on the bandwagon.
crazy train that has been nothing but amazing. We love talking about it, and it's been amazing up until now. But there's one more season left, and oh man, when it comes to so obviously I think they're going to handle the final season well. Like even if I think it's bad, like I think I would put this show as my number two still. Um, but when I think of this and the first show, the number one show I have on here, I think to myself, what one would I rather kind of like sit down and rewatch more? Or if I put a random episode on, which one would I enjoy more? And I think it's the first one. So that's why Attack on Titan got number two. This thing has evolved to be something that I could have never imagined in my life. And I really hope that once this is over, people will really sit down and watch this because this isn't the survival anime from fucking 2013, 2014. It has become a beast, wink, wink, unto its own. So, Attack on Titan number two, baby.
Yeah, uh, agree fully. And you sound almost like you're talking about just it in its entirety. I went a little bit more specified with it, and I put
Uh,
specifically season four, part one,
mm,
because
I
I
did
was
not
like,
do
well, we
that.
only did. Yeah, no, it doesn't fucking matter. I was just like in my head being like, that was the one that we talked about, but even still, just it being that, I'm putting season four, part one at number two, just because it continues the transformation of the series being from what it was back in 2013, 2014 in season one. And then again, the series has transformed with every fucking season, and season four, part one is no exception. And it's continuing to pay off and continuing to world build and continuing to inform decisions and character lines and character motivations from the past of the series. It's just it's so good and it's laid out so well. It's hard to put this not at number one, especially again hoping that part two will be just as great as the rest of the series. And if it is, perhaps this will surpass my number one spot. But as of right now, it's got that potential, baby, and I'm just waiting for it to pay that potential off. So yeah, let's just not waste any more time, Joe. It's time for the number one spots, which again, it's not difficult for other people to figure out because you can just do process of elimination. But for me, Joe, number one spot, it's got to go to my boy Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of surprised that it's your number one, but also thinking about it now, not surprised. Um,
Mm.
and for me, it's Jujutsu Kaisen, and oh my goodness, let me hear about Gurren Lagann because I talked a lot about Attack on Titan.
Yeah, so Gurren Lagann, it holds a special place in my heart. You can go back to the final part of the review for that we did in the anime playlist. I think it was part three, towards the end of that. But so it holds a very special place in my heart. It was introduced to me by a friend. We watched like the entire first arc together up until Kamina died, and then I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I watched the rest of the show on my own because I just couldn't wait. And watching all of it and seeing the progression of Shimon or Simone from the wimpy little drill boy to the fucking galactic space commander fighting off the anti-spirals. I was like, I don't know how we got here, but I am so fucking hyped. And just experiencing levels of excitement that I have never experienced since. It's like, holy fucking shit, this show is something magical. And the fact that then rewatching it for the third time with you and having you experience that shit and hearing how it resonated with you so well, I was just like, this is incredible. And it's like everyone that I've known about that has watched this series, everyone seems to like enter to the same wavelength because this show just pumps its wavelength into you. It's just like, what's consent? And then it's like excitement, and you're just like, oh my god. You're just like filled with all this hype energy, and it's incredible. And I love the payoffs and the character progression of everything, and I think it all wraps up beautifully, especially with that final end credit scene that it's got going on where it's just a beautiful world after the anti-spirals are defeated. It's a nice, happy ending, and yes, it's cliche, but fuck you, it's Gurren Lagann, baby.
That was gorgeous. Loved it. Loved it. Look, man, when's the solo video essay channel coming out, man? I gotta know.
Honestly, it's sooner rather than later,
Good,
I gotta
good,
say.
good. Because I always wanted to do it, And if you can do it, I'll vicariously live through you. Um, so, Jujutsu Kaisen. Where do I go with this? Look, this season 2 of this, okay, no. I watched this show in 2 days because I got through maybe like the first 5 episodes and I said, wow, this is really fucking sick. And then the next day, I watched like episode 7 or 8 and I was like, oh no, this show is fucking sick. And I just finished it all. And again, maybe for some people they're like rookie numbers, but for people that know me to do something like that, it's kind of like, uh-oh, something's up. He's something's connected. And this thing between the art, the music, the characters, and the story, all of it, I'm hooked. I am fully hooked. And besides the Bleach return, this is by far the anime that I'm most excited to return to have return. Like I'm really excited for the Attack on Titan finale, but I I don't know, like I I was gonna say if the Attack on Titan finale and Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 were both on at the same time at the same night, and I had to pick one to watch, and I had to watch the one the next day. I Again, not the final episodes of Attack on Titan, but maybe the first episode of the last season. I think I'd watch Jujutsu Kaisen first. I just love it so fucking much, and I want more. Yeah, I'm fully on the bandwagon. I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen fanboy over here, baby. Which, I mean, hell yeah, I am too. I'm just not as excited about it. Like, I'm excited about it. Don't get me wrong, but I like you're in the fucking stratosphere where I'm like somewhere a little bit lower in the atmosphere or whatever. But yeah, it's a great show. Again, most of these, aside from I'd say Yasuke and yeah, no, all of these aside from Yasuke
Yeah,
are good shows. I'd say most of them are pretty damn great in their own ways.
and a variety
It's
too.
just incredible.
It's just
Yeah,
a variety
exactly.
of
That's the
shows.
coolest thing. I mean, Yasuke is like that weird, more like psychedelic slice of everything, even though it doesn't really do it all that well, into its own little thing. Then you have the more emotional stuff with Violet Evergarden and Anohana,
Angel
and then
Beats a
you
little bit.
have Angel Beats a little bit, the final episode of Angel Beats, and then you have the more politically thriller-esque stuff in Attack on Titan, and then you have the insane hype action shit with Jujutsu Kaisen and Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. Like, it's awesome just going into some of this stuff and seeing, like, looking back at all the random crap that we've watched. I honestly can't believe that we've already gone through all of these. Like, that's insane.
Hey Joe, well that's 10, and here's the 10 more. Um,
Mm.
there is a lot of anime that come in the future. Like I said, this fall is about to be, in winter, about to be nuts.
It's gonna be so fucking jam-packed. I'm so excited.
Not just with anime, but also just some of the other stuff that we're gonna watch in the fall. And man, oh man, Joe, after we hop off this, we got to discuss what we're watching next.
Yes, we do. So we will be doing that and getting back to you guys next week with whatever the fuck we're gonna be reviewing then, because it's just gonna be continuing this hype train, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. Also, shout out to anybody who's looking for something quick to watch. Watch Puparia, 3 minute short. Check it out. Very, very weird. I like it. Joe was meh about it. It's a little artsy fartsy, but pretty cool. Check it out.
Mm. I still think it's pretty good and everyone should check it out. I just didn't connect with it as much as you did,
Mm.
as we have seen through many of the different shows that we have just reviewed. So, you have anything else to add, though, Leo?
Weebs rule the world.
Yeah, I concur. So, with all that being said, everyone, we hope you enjoyed the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe special numero dos. Here's hoping to a couple more of these ranking things, hoping that we can get through as many of these anime as we just did, and even some more experimental shit that we got coming on. Stay tuned again for the solo channel that will be coming as I leave this sorry sop of a man and venture off on my own. And with all that being said, everyone, we shall say we love you, we leave you, like and subscribe, and all that usual bullshittery, and goodbye.